Digby. I feel like this is deja vu. We've seen this before. Digby to Oval. Oval back to Digby. Digby back to, guess who? Oval. Oval takes it down below to Guerra. Guerra over Dugan. Guerra. Shot. Intercepting the pass in the neutral zone. Steno can't hang on to it. Guggens and Steno on the near side boards, working it, trying to work that puck. It's under Odessa's body. Over to Olds. Olds to Digby. I feel like this is deja vu. We've seen Olds. Digby to Olds. Olds back. Digby. Back to gets who? Olds.
Gloves off. It is Chad Seward, joined today with very special guest, live from, I'm assuming, Colonial Country Club.
Correct.
It is Michael Tothe, tournament director for the Charles Schwab Challenge. Hey, buddy.
How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Doing great, as always. How are you? How's the family?
Family's good. My daughter, Remy, who's 9, and my son, Gordy, who's 6. They're just coming out of the summer league, Dallas Stars Metro Hockey League. Remy's playing 10U, Gordy's playing 8U, and we're getting ready for anticipating the winter season. But we're good. We're good. COVID-free.
I love it.
Kids are at home. We pulled them out of school. So Holly's using a virtual online tool for a year. And so they kind of sleep in, go to the rink, go to the park, hang out.
The life, man. It's the life.
Yeah, it's the life. It's the life.
I noticed
right?
that Remy's been doing quite a bit of scoring out there.
It's amazing. They we've been to see some of your games, and they got started in, I guess, 3-4 years ago in Arlington at Parks Mall. And then when they built the rink in Mansfield, which is, 7 minutes from where we live, they've just instantly gravitated toward it. And we bought Gordy a super deker. So he's super. Yeah. I mean, have you seen what these super dekers are? It's incredible.
I'm well versed in the super deker. Now, how is Holly as a hockey mom? She fully into it?
She's fully into it. A little too much, but it's okay. She's just trying to understand what AAA is, what 10U, 8U. What does Dallas Stars Elite mean? What does Brahmas mean? What's happening at NYTEX? What are the Penguins? What are the Tigers? What is the Mansfield Hockey League? So I think she's educating herself, and I'm probably going to coach Remy's 10U team.
Now, how did that work? Is it like, hey, Michael, for those of you who don't know, by the way, Michael is a native Canadian.
Yep.
So is that the automatic qualifier to coach? Who here has a parent who's Canadian? Oh.
Well, I've kind of flown under the radar there because, A, I've never coached before. B, as you know, I've played goal all my life. So that has been my single focus, is just understanding the position of playing goal.
Yeah.
Now that I'm 48 and I'm playing forward, I'm becoming more aware of kind of what's going on out there, not between the pipes. And so what I've found is there's probably 5 or 7 girls that are all of the same skill level of Remy. So our goal is to kind of keep them together, formulate a girls line,
awesome.
Have, 10 other boys, have a decent goalie, and see where we go. Have some fun, set some parameters, and see where it takes us,
Well, okay, so for those in Brahma land who are curious how Michael and I became friends, you started at Colonial, what, 2008?
2008, January of 2008.
So I was right about the same time with the Brahmas, and at the time we had a general manager who used to give us sales leads in the form of like newspaper clippings. And I remember he handed me, I think it was a Fort Worth Business Press, 40 executives under the age of 40. You remember this from your first year?
I got the dudes up there.
Yeah, he hands me a newspaper clipping. I want to say it was Sandra McLaughlin from Empire Storage. or Empire Roofing.
Roofing.
Here, they're a good sponsorship lead. And I flipped to the back of the page, and there you are with your catcher and your blocker and a Christian goalie stick. And I'm like, what about that guy? That guy, he's definitely played hockey.
That's right.
So we've partnered up, supported Brahmas hockey all this time. We support the Schwab and everything you guys have going on over there, and it's been great. It's been fun to be friends with you. And we've kept our jobs all this time through all these crazy things. It's awesome.
Incredible. You're right. That's a good point. We have been through some things since 2008, haven't we?
This is true. One time, teammates. Now, see you behind you. That looks like a trophy. I believe that you're a recent champion. Is that right?
So we started the men's league in Mansfield. Started when the rink opened, and it was just a hodgepodge of players. And I mean, Chad, we had a guy that was 80 on our team. We had a brand new goalie that never played before. We had all skill levels, but there was about 5 or 6, there was about 5 or 6 real good players. And then the next level down was sort of me and another couple of guys. And then it dropped off significantly. And the goalie, our goalie was a great guy, but just couldn't save anything. And then we just sort of decided to refocus, and then and then we became a C-level team. And then a couple guys dropped off. We had a couple TCU guys came in. Owen, who played goal for TCU, he kind of came in and out. And then I had a guy by the name of Wes Mason, who's on our team now. Wes, big, tall, great hands.
By the way,
Wes?
Oh yeah, 2nd round draft pick, New Jersey Devils, 1995.
Correct. He's on our team. He's on my team now. So he's like,
that's a ringer.
He's a ringer. He's incredible. So we're like, let's get 2 or 3 guys. So I took the leadership role, built this dynasty, and we won the Winter League. And that's what you can't see is my son is just below me, looking up at me like I'm a goofball. But Mansfield B League for the leftovers.
Well,
we haven't won a game in the summer season though.
Because let me guess, Wes hasn't been around?
Wes has been around. Andrew Bandersky's our goalie. He's incredible. Sean Wilson, he's a fantastic player. Connor Morrison. I don't know what's going on. We just haven't won any. I think the other teams got better, and we sort of maintained. And so we'll be fine in the winter. Just kind of ice time right now.
It's all good. Well,
come play. Come join.
You know what? I might dust off the skates one time for you. I might do that. I'm not opposed to getting out there.
Come on, bring it.
Okay. So the reason we wanted to talk to you, Michael, is for a while, as we're all aware, we had several months without sports. The pandemic was ravaging this country, and we didn't know if the Schwab was going to make it on the calendar or not. The PGA Tour, which was just getting going into full swing, had the rug pulled out from underneath them. And when it was announced that the PGA Tour is coming back live on TV, lo and behold, the Schwab Challenge they got the nod to be the first one. So you, in essence, led this country back into, or the world back into live sports, and paved the way for this bubble concept that we're seeing in the NBA and Major League Baseball. So there had to be a lot of challenges faced with all of that. I mean, talk to us about how stressful was that? Looks like you lost a few hairs in the process.
A lot of gray. So what was the week of the Players Championship? The week of the Players was sort of March, right? So, I think the end of February, we went on a family trip at the end of February. And that's when COVID was starting to bubble up, I think, in North America.
Yep.
And I don't know if that point if we were taking it serious. And so, the country was kind of going on. And then we go into the first, which we call it the 5th major, the Players Championship at Sawgrass.
Sure.
And we canceled after the first round. I think, COVID numbers were growing. There was generally a feeling of what are we going through? Like, what is all this? Nobody could get their arms wrapped around it. I think players became uncomfortable. I think the NBA might have canceled. The NHL might have canceled right around that same time period. So Jay Monahan made the decision to cancel after the first round. And then Jay also, at some point very soon thereafter, we canceled the next 4 events up to the Masters. And then the Augusta National Golf Club postponed and said, we're going to move to the fall, and they've done that. And then the next 4 events, Valero Texas Open, Wells Fargo Championship, Zurich, and the Byron Nelson, they got canceled.
Right.
And so then the next event was the next major, which was the PGA Championship at Harding Park. And then we were sort of the next event. And so Harding Park got postponed into 2 weeks ago. So then we were sort of next by lottery. And having 74 years of history at the same venue, a lot of institutional knowledge, I think the tour really felt like they could start up with us. And so we went to the mayor, we went to Charles Schwab, we went to our key constituents, and everybody's like, hell yeah, let's try this. But Chad, at that time, that was kind of, I would say that would be first part of April. We didn't know, we assumed at that moment we would still be Memorial Day weekend. And then we learned shortly thereafter that, okay, if you guys are going to go and be the first, could you do it in June? And we raised our hand and said, hell yeah, we'll go in June. Well, we didn't know, again, what that would look like. And I think for a moment, I was really excited because if we're first back, and again, we were still understanding COVID. COVID was growing, numbers were growing, deaths were rising, tests were really uncertain. But I had in the back of my mind that, 25,000 people, Tiger Woods, best players in the world. And that quickly evaporated to like, can we even do this?
Right.
And once we made collectively with the tour and Charles Schwab, the city of Fort Worth, the decision not to have fans, the unfortunate decision, it made the ability to get our arms wrapped around the safety protocols to make sure that the players are safe and sound a lot more focused. And once we made that decision, that meant no members. That meant a third of the volunteer workforce. None of the corporate partners and great fans in North Texas that were able to support us could be a part of it. They could watch it on TV. We then focused on testing and player protocol and inside the bubble, outside the bubble. And it made it manageable. And it was an eerie week. It was a quiet week. I, for the first time in my career, got to say hello and thank you to every player in the field. We typically are 120 players, but again, with the guys not having player opportunities, we raised our hand and said, hey, we'll go to 144, or if you need to go to 156, we go to 156, but we landed on 144. And I got to say hello to everybody, and I got to say thank you, and I got to hear their feedback, and they were thankful. They were really, because the tour was updating them on the protocols that we had in place, the 4 hotels that we had selected, Lexus, our official vehicle, and Warren Prescott at Rent-A-Frog, and all of the elements that made their arrival safe and their time with us safe. The guys really appreciated that. And they also expressed that they hated not playing in front of fans, but it was the first step to get back. But it was a quiet, eerie week. I mean, we're seeing that in Edmonton. We're seeing that in Toronto, that it's just not the same without fans. And I think, I'm not going to say it, but, does Colin Morikawa win last week with no fans? Does Jim Herman, or 2 weeks ago, does Jim Herman win without any fans yelling and screaming? So I think there's an element of fans that the players are missing because they probably thrive off the vibe,
Right.
But it can hurt them and help them. But it was eerie, and I think we did a good job. The PGA Tour was really proud of us. Charles Schwab was really thankful. I mean, they've used words as massive and felt like a major, in the field being exceptional. Ratings were good for them. So I feel like sports is in a better place today than it was when we had our event in June. But in some small way, hopefully we paved the way for others to be successful.
Yeah, and don't underplay that field. You had the best field that tournament's probably
We had a good field.
had. I mean, you got Rory there. You had DJ. You had JT. You had Bryson, Phil, Ricky. Everybody. The only guy missing is Tiger, essentially.
Right.
And epic playoff. By the way, have y'all fixed the 17th cup? Seemed like there was an issue there with Morikawa putting on that.
I mean, he should. I mean, let's be honest. If you watched it,
He should
he
have
should have won the. He should be our golf champion. His name should be on that wall. But that just goes to show how difficult it is. And he missed 2 putts that probably he would not miss again ever. And so maybe he's better now. And he wins the PGA Championship, and you know, we put his name on our wall next year.
Yeah, maybe so. Well,
Yeah.
This is a good point. We'll take a 3-second commercial break for a little word from St. Arnold, the patron saint of craft beers, and we'll be back with Michael Tothe for some fun here in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our guest, Michael Tothe of the Charles Schwab Challenge PGA Tour, and it's time to play Crystal Ball with Michael Tothe. So, yeah, we're going to look into your crystal ball, your imaginary crystal ball, Michael.
Okay.
I want to see who your picks are for a few upcoming sporting events. The first being Stanley Cup. Now, I know you're a Stars fan, but do you believe they have what it takes to go all the way?
I think they should get past Calgary. Avalanche will be tough, but I'm picking them. I believe in them. I like where they're going. I like Boston too. So I'm going Stars and Bruins in the Stanley Cup.
Okay, I like Boston coming out of the East. I like Vegas coming out of the West. So I think it could be Vegas this year. You know, my man Robin Lehner, former Sens great, seems to be
Unbelievable.
All right, so there's your pick for Stanley Cup. Now the U.S. Open at Winged Foot also being played with no fans. This is your world. Who's your pick?
Well, I mean, you know, it's tough to pull against Rory, Bryson DeChambeau. I mean, we gotta get a major win for him. I don't want to say it's a dark horse pick, but I gotta see Ricky Fowler get a major. I mean, he's won the Players, right? But we gotta get him.
It'll happen.
We got to get him a U.S. Open. I mean, it's his time. It's Fowler's time, and he never plays well here ever. But I'm going Ricky Fowler, U.S. Open.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a. I'm gonna say the hot ticket Morikawa. I'm going there.
Good. Two majors in a row. I like it.
It's a safe bet. All right. Now, what about in Augusta in the fall? Who's your money on there?
It's going to play a little bit different in November than it would in April, right?
Right.
Good chance the temperatures are going to be a little cooler, little more moisture.
Yeah.
You're going to need somebody that's going to really have to hit the golf ball a long way, but be smart. I'm going with Bryson DeChambeau, SMU,
nice.
Mustang.
That's my guy. I'm with you.
You know, he is. You know, it's interesting. I guess I get the opportunity to get to know these guys a little different than how they're portrayed in the media, but he came out and played us a couple weeks before, and I texted him. I said, "Hey, how did your practice round go?" And then he called me. He said, "Your range isn't long enough anymore." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I'm blowing it through your driving range." I said, "All right, well, we'll put up a net for you." And he started laughing and joking. So he's got a good sense of humor. He's really supportive in the rise to the challenge. But I'm going with the doctor, Bryson DeChambeau.
He's gonna be hitting driver wedge through those back nine par fives all week.
I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to see some eagles. We want to see some miraculous shots. We want to see him get through amen corner, but he needs to be smart on Thursday and Friday. He just has to let it come to him Thursday, Friday. You know, I'm always and will always be cheering for Ryan Palmer. You know, Ryan's a member here at the club, and I think Ryan is one of the best guys on tour. And I mean, I would love for him to win our event here at Colonial, but I'd love to see him win a major too. But Bryson DeChambeau, he's probably he's my crystal ball pick.
We're in sync on those picks.
Yeah. Okay, good.
What about NBA? So speaking of the other bubble sport, you got one Canadian team. It's a sport founded in Canada.
Dr. James Naismith, right?
Absolutely.
Did you see the game last night?
Yes. Well, which one?
The Raptor game. I mean,
the Raptors. Come on.
Back to back. Back to back.
If they can do it without what's his face?
Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah, they can pull that off, then
boom, count it.
Count it. Okay. All right, and then final crystal ball pick, the NFL. Who you got there?
So I grew up in Toronto.
Yeah.
So I'm a Bills fan. I went to college near Atlanta, and I'm a Falcons fan. And then I lived in San Antonio when Katrina hit, and so we got to watch the Saints play in San Antonio. So I'm okay with either the Bills, the Saints, or the Falcons. I like the Falcons, but you know what? I'm so far removed from the NFL right now that I can't even tell you who's decent. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna cheer for the Bills. Let's go Bills, right?
Okay, go Bills. All right, and then the final segment we do. This is something that we've asked a lot of the hockey players that we have on. It's a silly question, but it's a serious question. What's the biggest monkey, Michael, that you think you could take in a fair fight? Fair fight, Thunderdome style, the biggest primate you could beat up.
You mean like a chimpanzee or like
any kind of monkey? The largest one you think you could take. Now, I'll give you some insight.
What's the smallest one on Earth? What's the smallest
monkey?
Primate size-wise? Yeah.
Spider monkey? Think you could handle one of those?
He's too quick for me.
I think pretty quick.
I'm just going to go with a 110-year-old just gorilla that is, you know, he's past his prime. He's dominated on every level.
He's just had it.
He's cycled through 5 or 6 different zoos. And he's got a little gray beard going, and he's like, I'm living a good life. And Tothe comes in and just knocks him in the jaw, and down he goes. He's out.
You're gonna channel your inner Ty Domi and take out the 110-year-old gorilla.
Yeah. Well, he may turn and go loose on me, and I might be toast. But
yeah, you never know. You never know. It's always unstable when you fight a gorilla, or so I've been told. Well, Michael, it's always good to see you. Always good to talk to you. We'll go grab lunch here pretty soon. I've got a niece that just started at TCU, so I'm going to be heading down in your ballpark here quite a bit to see her.
Good.
Maybe we'll hit up a little Buffalo Brothers here one of these days soon.
When will you know your schedule for hockey?
So it's supposed to come out sometime around the beginning of close to Labor Day, 1st of September, somewhere around there.
Okay,
so,
we'll keep you posted. We'll bring the family over for a game.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Good to see you. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks, Chad.
See you, buddy.
Okay.
Unbelievably unstable. I have not seen instability like that since probably my bachelor party. Sam, this is not like Penn and Teller. Sam does actually talk. From time to time as necessary. There he is, Sam. Good to see you.
When does this go live?
Probably.
Or not live, but when do you air it?
Probably the end of the week. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of post-production that goes on. Probably by the end of the week.
Okay.
I'll let you know ahead of time.